let's go ahead and get started. Good evening. I want to welcome everybody to the November 5th, 2024 Newton County Board of Commissioners meeting. The thought of the day: what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it's the difference we have made to the lives of others. It's by Nelson Mandela. Our invocation tonight will be by Jackie Smith, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Sanders. Ms. Smith?
Thank you. Will you bow your heads with me, please? Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us today. You woke us up this morning and we were able to get up on our own. We thank you for that. Lord, we thank you for your goodness, your mercy, your long suffering, and how you've made a way many times when it seemed like there was no way. We pray for this meeting tonight, Lord. We pray that you'd put a guard over our lips and let everything be said and done that would glorify you and that would be a blessing to our people, the people of Newton County. Bless our commissioners as they deliberate and make decisions that are so important to everyone here. And bless the people that came out tonight. And bless us as we move forward in Jesus' name. Amen.
Moving on to item number 3, I got one item I need to add to the consent agenda, and that's an appointment to District 3 SPLOST Committee, and that person is Ms. Maya Neely. I need a motion to add that to the consent agenda. So moved. Got a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Now I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
The agenda or the consent?
I mean, I'm sorry, the
Agenda.
agenda, sorry.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Next on our agenda is citizen comments. You have 3 minutes to address the board on agenda topics only.
Dave Norton of New Bern. My comment concerns items 3 and 4 on the zoning agenda. Concerns building a gas station with 3 rental units in it. In the name of saving time, you have a busy schedule tonight. I will just leave you with this, and I'll expound on this later. If you build it, they will come.
Thank you. Anybody else for citizen comments, agenda topics only? Seeing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. Moving to the chairman's report, Newton County 4-H proclamation. Wait for Ms. Hamp to come back in. She will read that for us. As we're waiting on her to come back, I just want to update the board. Yesterday I did meet with the mayor, myself, Mr. Cooper, and the sheriff about them and events on the square, and the sheriff has pledged to work with the city on additional resources for events on the square, such as the lighting of the courthouse.
Thank you,
Ms. Hamp, you
Mr.
ready?
Chair. Yes, sir. Thank you. We have our Newton County 4-H, and they are actually being recognized this evening for Ms. Charlene Scott, who represents us very well. She received an award for excellence in urban programming Adulting 101 Grab and Go Summer Session. The write-up for the event states that for state, regional, and national award winner for excellence in urban programming, and she is representing Newton County, the Adulting 101 Grab and Go Summer Session is a hands-on educational program designed to teach teens essential life skills that are often not covered in traditional classroom settings. During the summer of 2023, youth from our 4 metro Atlanta counties, Cobb, Gwinnett, Rockdale, and Newton County, participated in a day-long event where they learned valuable skills through interactive activities. The program included lessons on cooking, housekeeping, relationship development, and emergency preparedness. The goal of the summer session was to provide an enriching experience that not only taught practical skills, but also allowed students to apply what they learned in real-life scenarios. The program aimed to boost the confidence of participants in their ability to handle everyday tasks and prepare them for adulthood. And of course, Ms. Charlene Scott proudly represented Newton County and was awarded that particular honor. The proclamation that we've received for the National 4-H Week, which is normally held in October, but we are on a delay because of our meeting that we had to miss. I will read the proclamation for 4-H, for our National 4-H Week, and it reads, whereas the young people of Georgia and Newton County are our greatest natural resource, and whereas the 4-H program has assisted in the growth and development of Georgia and Newton County youth for 120 years, and whereas adult volunteer leaders and advisors are devoting their talents, leadership, and resources to serving these leaders of tomorrow, and whereas 4-H helps its members thrive by exploring their interests, discovering their sparks, and engaging in learning experiences that grow their social, emotional, and cognitive abilities in the focus areas of agriculture, science, civic engagement, leadership, health, and wellness. And whereas Newton County supports Georgia 4-H and encourages young people and adults to become involved in the educational and entertaining programs offered by the 4-H program in Newton County through the University of Georgia College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences Cooperative Extension. Now, therefore, I, Lanier Sims, the Honorable Chairman, along with the Board of Commissioners of Newton County, do declare and proclaim the week of October 6th through the 20th to be Newton County 4-H Week. And we urge all of our citizens to assist in according this observation the attention and importance to which it so rightly is entitled, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and affixed our seal. This, of course, at that time, first day of October. So congratulations to our Newton County 4-H. We'd like Ms. Charlene Scott to come up and her team to come up for a presentation. And also, Ms. Scott, you can explain the gifts that you have left.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for that. We're excited to be here tonight. Tonight's super special to me because this is the first time my youngest one gets to be an official 4-H'er as a Clover Bud member in kindergarten. So now I get to have my son and my daughter in 4-H and up here with us. So that's super exciting. In front of you, you have a couple of items. The first is a pamphlet, just some highlights from 4-H. There's also a paper from the University of Georgia. They put that together, but on the back it talks about Newton County specifically. And then you also have a gift from us. It's a bunked cake, but it also has a keychain attached to it. If you're out in your community and people want to know more about 4-H, there's a QR code on it. So if you want to carry the keychain, they can scan that QR code. It takes them directly to the website that I run. so that they can get in contact with me or see what's going on in 4-H. So while I'm up here, I just want to take a second and explain a couple of the highlights. We've had a really successful year. Our program is growing leaps and bounds. As you can see, we keep bringing more and more people every year, which is super exciting. But this past year, I do want to say I can't do this by myself. So I have a really great team behind me. So I'm the 4-H agent, but we also just recently hired Ms. Tina Douglas. She started in September, so we're super excited to have her on board. And then we have some of our volunteer leaders behind us. We have Miss Terry Fullerton. She's not a strange face to most of y'all. She was me before me. And so I'm super excited she's here, and she now helps us in a volunteer capacity, coaching some of our teams and working with some of the young people continuously. And then Ashley Best, she is our County Extension Coordinator and Agricultural and Natural Resources Agent. And then back here behind me in the orange shirt is actually my husband, Jesse Scott, and he is my voluntold, what I like to say. But he is actually going to be starting our shooting sports program here in Newton County. So we have an interest meeting kicking off this Friday. So we're super, super excited about that. And then some of our other kiddos and parents. On the front of your paper, it kind of talks about the 23-24 program highlights. And the biggest thing that I want to point out is that overall we've had a vast increase in participation, which is really, really great. But then additionally to that, one of my focus areas is mental health. So during the 23-24 year, or 4-H programming year, we were actually able to certify 17 Newton County employees in youth mental health first aid. So that's really exciting for us to be able to have people employed by Newton County who are out there working with youth and are now certified to recognize some of those things. Underneath that are some staff accomplishments. And then if you open it up to the inside, you can see from August 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024, I don't know how we managed it, but we reached 128,404 educational contacts. So I'm not really sure where sleep came in there, but we are super proud of that number. But we also had 950 hours of community service. Our adult volunteers served about 642 hours, and if you look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they say that that equates to about $21,500, and so that's almost another employee that our volunteers are taking on that extra time to help us make this happen. And then this past year, we were able to raise $11,765 in funds and in-kind donations. And then on the back, just a quick accomplishment from this year. This past week, we actually had a team compete at our Cotton Bowl and Consumer Judging Competition, where youth learn about cotton as a commodity here in Georgia, and they have to create a commercial about it. And then they're also given a real-life situation where they have to learn how to judge different items and make a savvy shopper choice. And we've got some of our kids here that did really, really well in that contest. So we had 3 youth who competed for the first time ever. So Logan competed as a first time ever 4-H'er, and then Kylie competed as a first time ever 4-H'er, which was really exciting. And then we had a first place reasons and first place commercial for our 4th through 6th grade age group. And he's sick tonight, but mom and sister, I believe, are here. And then we actually had the first place commercial was Audrey Fullerton, so we're excited for her. That's out of about 10 kids from across the district, so that's really exciting. And then we actually had the third place junior team, which was made up of Audrey Fullerton, the one that's not here tonight, Logan, and Izzy, right there in the black. So we're super excited that they did so well, seeing as how we missed several practices due to the hurricane and biolab and all of the things. These kids have learned the word resilience. But underneath that is just some upcoming things and that you can kind of share out in your districts. And then in 2025, coming here to Covington is the Georgia Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals. So we are hosting right here in Covington. So we're excited to have 4-H youth development professionals from across the state of Georgia coming here to see beautiful Covington and learn about our program and the things that are going on here.
Thank you. Mr. Chair?
Yes, thank you, and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the lovely gifts that you brought us tonight, and your my oldest is now a fifth grader, and so we're working hard. You got me working hard with him. You know, I really, like I said, I thank you guys. I remember the days, many days ago when I was in 4-H, and it was something that shaped my life way back then. We have a proclamation that we want to present you, and commissioners, if you guys could step down, we'll take some photos.
So if we want to go down here, and then the commissioners will stand up here.
Next, we're going to move into item number 6 is the county manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, board members, and residents of the community. I come before you with the county manager's report. We're going to focus on the second P today, our purpose, optimum service delivery.
Hold on 1 second. Can we shut those doors again?
Okay. I want to extend a appreciation to the residents of Newton County. We have 81,000 plus registered voters in the community, and at the conclusion of the early voting cycle, over 43,000 exercised their right to the early process, which is 53% of our voter pool in this county, so you all should be applauded for your efforts. I'd be remiss if I didn't applaud the elections department, Ms. Angela Davis, our director, and her outstanding team, and her seasonal poll workers for being diligent and vigilant in their efforts to make sure that democracy is heard. Also, I wanted to give an update about our senior services department and our Senior Services Enrichment Center. We're having a groundbreaking ceremony Tuesday, November 12th at 1 p.m. across from the Denny Dobbs Park. Also, the chatter that we hear outside is because of an event, a tribute to our Newton County Parks and Recreation staff, Dwayne, Kel, Horace, Zach, Marquise, Chris, Khalil, Rodney, Matt. You all did a tremendous job with the Super Bowl on October 27th. I know Mr. Chair had an opportunity to participate. We had the 6 and under, 8 and under, 10 and under, and 12 and under games. And it was just a great event at Sharp Stadium. As a result, the Newton County Raiders 8 and under team, coached by Mr. DeMonte Queen, won the championship. So at this time, I just want them to come in so that the community and the board can see the real superstars of youth football. These are some of the stars of the team. In fact, this is the entire team of our 8 and under division. Coach Queen, I want to thank you and your staff for pouring into our youth. You know, they are our future, and thank you all for volunteering your time. And thank you, young men, for going out there putting on a great performance. In addition to our 8 and under, our 12 and under division, Newton County had champions there too with our Newton County Raiders 12 and under team. And I don't know if Coach Taylor's available with some of those team members, but yes, they're coming in now. So here's the 12 and under group. Coach Taylor, as I shared with Coach Queen, thank you and your staff for pouring into these young people, and we really appreciate you all's efforts, and we also appreciate the parents who allow us to serve their kids in this manner. Thank you all. Take a look, take a quick picture. Okay, moving right along. I'd also be remiss if I did not thank our Human Resources Department for the breast cancer awareness initiatives that they had for the month of October. They had a walk on October 30th that was just tremendous. And to put things in perspective, as many of you know, that the projections in 2024 in relationship to invasive breast cancer for women, it was projected that 310,720 women would be diagnosed with this horrible disease, and another 2,790 men be diagnosed with this same invasive breast cancer. So again, Dr. Amanda Shoemaker and her team did a tremendous job, and here's a little short presentation.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time for reflection, hope, support, and solidarity. Here in Newton County, we proudly embrace the color pink as a symbol of our commitment to this important cause. In Newton County, we want to remind you that you're not alone in this fight. Our community is here to support you, whether you're a survivor, currently battling the disease, or a loved one affected by it. Together, we can make a difference.
Together, we can make a difference. So again, thank you, the Department of Human Resources. Thank to all of the participants for coming out and participating. And last but not least, on the heels of Veterans Day, November 11th, do we have any veterans in here today? If so, please stand. We want to thank you for your service. This concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. I got a comment from Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was about 3 weeks ago that about 3 weeks ago, Biolab in Kearney, the plant had all this gas and stuff that eventually, and this is the second time that I can remember that it came through Newton County. And also had we had to close down our county offices for 2 days. Schools had to close down for about a week or so. And it could have, and I don't know, caused some damage and stuff to people with burn their eyes and throats and stuff. And I think that we need to, at some point, Mr. Chairman, and to our county manager, have some kind of a report as far as with how much damage or what was the cost to our county for their gases affecting us here in Newton County. And so I would like for us to look at that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to next item, item number 7, we have no unfinished business. Item number 8 is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Second. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. We got a few minutes before zoning, so I'm gonna skip to keep us moving ahead. I'm gonna skip all the way to our alcohol license reading. So first one is final reading for bar. It's at 2536 Inc., my bad. It's at 2536 Highway 81 South, Covington, Georgia, 30016. That is in District 2. Final reading for TMH. I'm sorry. That's final reading. We need a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the final reading for Barar 2536 Inc. at 2536 Highway 81 South in Covington, Georgia 30016. Jessica Nuruddin Barday is the owner.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Our next final reading is TMH 10724 LLC, DBA Shell Food Mart. It's at 10724 Eagle Drive, Covington, Georgia 30014. Serena Bardet is owner, District 5. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final reading for TMH 10724 LLC on Eagle Drive.
We got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next final reading is Circle K, 4175 Salem Road, Covington, Georgia, 30016. That's Amy Justina Draper. That's in District 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move that we approve the final reading for Circle K at 4175 Salem Road, Covington, Georgia 30016, where Amy Justina Draper is the owner or the applicant for the change of licensee.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. The last one is for Kroger Company, 5341 Highway 20 South, Covington, Georgia 30016, Tiffany Holt Allen, and that is also in District 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move that we approve final reading for the Kroger Company, 5341 Highway 20 South in Covington, Georgia 30016, where Tiffany Holt Allen is the change of licensee.
Got a second? Second. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. It is 7:30 as we move into our zoning. As we move into our zoning portion of our meeting, please note the following. The applicant and those in favor of the petition are allowed 10 minutes to address the board. In addition, 10 minutes are allowed for those in opposition to the petition. The 10-minute allotment do not include a response to any questions raised by a commission member. Ms. Applewhite?
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, members of the board. Our first petition this evening, this is part of our old business. Due to the cancellation of the last meeting, these cases were moved over to this meeting. It is a future land use amendment. Case number is FLU 24-00001. The existing land use map is residential. The proposed map is commercial. The current zoning is agricultural residential in the Alcovy River watershed. And it is located on Piper Road on tax ID 0083016. Total acreage is 16.18 acres. And the current area is the established suburban core. This is located in Commission District 5. Current owner is Hayfields Farm LLC, and the petitioner is Rusty Andrews from the Peach State Construction Company, and the representative is Tom Garrett. And just brief history, the Planning Commission approved or recommended approval for the flume by a vote of 4-0 on September 24th. And again, the October 1st meeting was canceled, and that's why we're hearing it today. And the intent is to amend the flume from residential to commercial to establish an office with fleet parking and storage for heavy equipment for the business. And again, they're proposing to move from residential to commercial. This is the character area. I won't read through it, but you'll see one of the appropriate land uses, which would be the flume map, is commercial. And just in conclusion, the 16.18 acres currently, it has there are 3 old storage sheds on it. The applicant has indicated that they want to convert and use an office for the construction business. This will also include fleet parking for small vehicles as well as storage for the heavy equipment to be used in the construction business. And pursuant to the established suburban core character areas appropriate land uses, commercial is an appropriate land use request. It is compatible with the other commercial land uses to the west and southwest of this property. And adjacent to the property, we have our fire services facility, and then further west, we have our mechanic shops, and then we have the county's fleet and maintenance department, and other similar commercial businesses. So should the board decide to approve this petition, staff is of the opinion that the future land use amendment may be appropriate for the area. There are no recommended conditions. The flume is just a planning tool. However, should the board approve this, it will come before you again for the actual rezoning, and at that time, the conditions of zoning may be applied. And this is the location. So we've got Highway 36. This is the city on this side. And we've got a lot of commercial and industrial locations here. This is the project. This is the parcel location. This is a large, I think it's about 60 acres, zone agricultural residential, just on developed land right now. And this is the Riverwalk Farms subdivision. So this is just aerial, like I said, commercial zonings. I believe this is the fire facility. Then we've got fleet over here for the county, and then we've got other industrial zonings opposite across the road here. The green would be our residential, and of course we've got the Riverwalk Farms and other green residential for the east. This is the map we're seeking to amend today. Because of the use they're trying to do, they have to change this residential flume to a commercial flume. Right next here, you've got a public utilities flume. You've got an industrial flume here. This is all mixed use, which is consistent with the uses that they have out there currently. It's in the Alcovy River watershed, District 5. This is a survey. These are the existing structures that they have there. I think one's like an old barn. Oh, and that's it. If there are any questions for staff, if not, Chairman, the applicant is here.
Any questions from the board? No questions at this time. If the applicant is here, you have 10 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Pleasure to be before you tonight. My name's Tom Garrett. My address is 1415 Nunley Farm Road, Monroe, Georgia. I'm speaking on behalf of Peach State Construction, where I'm an employee, and also prepared the drawing that will be presented to you for the rezoning application later, hopefully after we get this approved tonight. The future land use, as discussed by staff, is to go from the current AR to, or residential use, I guess, to a future land use of commercial, the 16 acres. And we just want to build our own shop there, office. We have, of course, pickup trucks and some heavy equipment that would be enclosed in a fenced storage yard for security and for screening from adjacent properties. And that's all I have prepared to say. I'd like to reserve any time for rebuttal if necessary.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition? That portion is closed. Anybody want to speak against this petition? Please step forward. Board, is there any questions for staff? If not, we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the future land use map for this property on Piper Road.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite, item number 2.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next report this evening is also a future land use amendment. It's FLU 24-000002. The current land use map, or the FLU map, is agricultural forestry. They're proposing to go to rural residential. The existing zoning is agricultural. It's located in the Bear Creek watershed, and the address is 1156 Woodlawn Road. The tax ID is 0116004B. Acreage is 17.12 acres. That's the entire lot, and they're looking to eventually rezone approximately 5.3 acres. So we're looking to amend the future land use map for the 5.3 acres. The character area is low density rural residential. It is in Commissioner District 1. The owner is Fred Hayes and Alma Glow, and the petitioner is Tucker Marks. And just a brief history, on September 24th, the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 4-0. And of course, the last BOC meeting was canceled, and hence we're here tonight. And again, the applicant's intent is to amend the flume from agricultural forestry to rural residential in order to rezone approximately 5.3 acres to the rural estate zoning. And again, the existing zoning is AF, and they're requesting to go to rural residential. The character area is a low-density rural residential area. I won't read through there, but as you can see, rural residential is an appropriate land use for this flume amendment. And in conclusion, the 5.3 acres is currently undeveloped pursuant to the low-density rural residential character area's appropriate land uses. Rural residential is an appropriate land use request. It is compatible with similar land uses to the north and west of the property, and should the board decide to approve this petition, staff is of the opinion that the future land use amendment may be appropriate for the area. And once again, this is a map amendment, so we don't have recommendations at this time. However, should the request be approved, the applicant would have to come before the board again for the rezoning, at which time recommendations and conditions can be applied. So this is our location here. So most of the parcel is undeveloped. We've got a home on this end here. Current zoning is agricultural. The flume, this is the map we're looking to change this evening. It's currently AF, and they're going to this lighter color here for rural residential. It is in the Bear Creek watershed, Commissioner District 1. This is a survey that was submitted. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, the applicant is here, I believe, Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions from staff? District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Applewhite, I know you and I both have been working on this for quite a long time, but this is simply a family-to-family transaction, correct? I mean,
This is a different property, actually, sir.
this is the Marks, right?
Tucker Marks is the applicant, but the other parcel that you're referring to that we did the amendment to the moratorium, it's not this parcel.
No, I know.
It may be the same family.
No, the one, we talked about that one in the last meeting,
Yes.
somewhat. No, this one, I'm aware of this. This is, you and I both have worked on this one extensively as well. I haven't worked with you, but I've worked with this gentleman, asking him to work with you. But this is just simply a family-to-family type deal.
It will be. They're going to rural estate if the board approves it, yes.
I just want to make everybody aware of that. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? You said the applicant is here.
Yes. Yes, they are, sir.
Thank you. At this time, if the applicant is here or anybody wants to speak in favor of the petition, please step forward. You have 10 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Tucker. Like Ms. Shana stated, my grandparents own the property, and I'm going to just purchase 5 acres to potentially build one day for me and my family and be around the rest of our family. That's really all I have prepared.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition, please step forward. Seeing none, anybody want to speak in opposition to this petition, please step forward. Seeing none, this is in District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve Flume Amendment FLU 24000002.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? No further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item 3.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next petition this evening is a rezoning. There is a companion case, which is a conditional use permit, which will be heard if this rezoning is approved. The case number is REZ 24-000007. The companion case is CUP 24-000009. The existing land use map is mixed use. The existing zoning is general commercial and agricultural residential. So it is a dual zoned parcel. The proposed zoning would be highway commercial. They're looking to rezone the entire parcel to that for consistency. The character area is low density rural residential in the Alcovy River watershed. It's located at 13 Highway 212 South. The parcel size is 5.12 acres. The tax ID is 0072A036. This is in Commissioner District 1. The current owner is NCG Holdings LLC, and our petitioner and representative today is Nabil Mimon. And history again, the Planning Commission heard this petition on September 24th, and they recommended approval by a vote of 4-0. And they also made 3 additional recommendations for the companion case, which we will go over. The BOC meeting was canceled on 10/1, and hence we're hearing this case this evening. And again, the applicant's intent is to rezone the entire lot to highway commercial to make the zoning consistent for a retail store and a convenience store with gas pumps. And we do have our staff analysis with the site plans that were received. They're, requesting to go to the CH zoning. And just same history as above. It's located on Highway 212, approximately 5.12 acres. And they're seeking to rezone everything to the highway commercial. Currently, one of the parcels has 2 homes located on it. And the entire parcel is close to the Highway 212, Highway 36 junction, and is in proximity to other commercial businesses. Character area is low density residential, under the appropriate land uses. Commercial is an appropriate use, and an appropriate zoning is highway commercial as well. And in conclusion, the applicant had originally requested to rezone to CG. However, given the designation of the future land use as mixed use and the character area as low density residential, the appropriate zoning per the comprehensive plan would actually be highway commercial. And staff is of the opinion that the rezoning may be appropriate since it will be consistent with the various commercial zonings and uses of surrounding properties. And it also lies near the intersection of 2 state highways. So we have a recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved highway commercial, conditional, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A, all plans or plats submitted must meet the requirements of the ordinance and regulations and be approved by the Department of Development Services. B, prior to any new uses, all permits shall be obtained as applicable. C, they must maintain and obtain a business license as applicable. D, all activities for the retail establishment shall be carried on entirely within the enclosed building, except for an ice machine that is allowed to be situated on the exterior front walk of the building. E, no outside storage allowed on the property and no merchandise allowed to be displayed outside of the building, except for an ice machine that is allowed to be situated on the exterior front walk. And these additional conditions, the Planning Commission added. The hours of operation shall be from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. And I just want to know that is a correction from the typo in your actual packets. I had 12 p.m., but it's actually 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. And G, the following uses shall not be allowed: tattoo parlor, vape shop, and a massage parlor. And H, appropriate architectural design finishes as approved by staff shall be included on the buildings. So those were the additional recommendations from the Planning Commission. So this is the location of the parcel. We have our 2 major highways intersecting, 212 and 36. There's a roundabout there. And you can see there are other non-residential uses as well as some homes that are on this side here of 36. These are current zoning, so there's a cluster of commercial zonings right here. This is highway commercial down here, and of course the green is agricultural residential. Even though not all the uses are that, some of the uses are non-residential on there. This is the future land use map. The entire junction is mixed use, has a mixed use flume, which indicates that it's slated for commercial development at some point, and this is the parcel in question. And it is in the Alcovy River watershed. We are in Commissioner District 1. This is the low density rural residential character map. This is the survey that was submitted of the property. This is a concept plan of what they're proposing to have there. So you've got the pumps, and you've got the space here for the convenience store, and then 3 other small, retail businesses as needed. And it shows adequate parking and ingress and egress. However, GDOT would be the final determination for that. I think this is already existing, this ingress there. Oh, and if there are any questions for staff, if not, the applicant is here, Chairman.
Got District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Applewhite, have at this intersection, there's a very have we made any plans? Has the petitioner made any plans to help mitigate or offset the impact to drivers at that ill-conceived and ill-implemented roundabout we have right there? That roundabout is just not very good or safe, in my opinion. So we're gonna throw another retail establishment into this intersection when you take your life into your hands anyway. So do we have any study that shows, or has the applicant made any plans to help to maybe explain how we're going to approach this roundabout? Because to be honest with you, across the street, Jones Petroleum, that whole parking lot dumps into the roundabout. So I don't think we can do that again. So I'm interested to see what our plans are for this roundabout, for that dumping traffic back onto 36 and or 212 at the roundabout.
Yes, so the scale and size of the project did not meet the requirements for staff to request a traffic study. However, the board can go ahead and do that if necessary, or some kind of a traffic evaluation. But it's such a small project, it doesn't meet the threshold for that. So that we can certainly include that in the recommendations if that is the board's desire.
All right, thank you.
District 3.
Just listening to my colleague over here, how many gas stations are already in that roundabout area?
We have one up here.
Just one?
Yeah. Then there's one here.
That's all I had.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? District 5.
Shana, it seems like, I'm going by memory, gas station now on Brown Bridge Road will require 2 entrances for traffic flow in and out. This only has 1.
Yes.
Is that consistent with the county ordinance or what?
It would be. These roads are actually controlled by GDOT, so they will make the determination on how many access points, they'll give them. There's currently one here. We've got what used to be a car wash, or may still be. I think it's down here. And we've got mini storage here. They've already have an access point here. So they would have to get approval from GDOT in terms of acquiring any additional access points, because we don't control either of these highways. And they will make that determination as to if the project would require another entrance.
So is this a future land use map amendment or is this a zoning?
This one we're doing is rezoning. This is actually rezone it to the highway commercial. They don't need to do the to amend the flume because it's already a mixed use. So the flume is already appropriate. So they're trying to rezone it to, if you see here, the parcel is dual zoned. Part of it is commercial and part of it is agricultural. So they're trying to make that consistent and to make it compatible with the recommendations of the comp plan. They'll have to do it to CH, which is similar to this commercial zoning here. Everything in pink is already commercial. And the future land use does slate it to be commercial based on the mixed use flume that we have at this junction.
So I guess my question is, should we wait on DOT to evaluate whether the driveways are proper and sufficient to handle traffic at that type of intersection?
Staff would not approve their final project until we have that. When they do their land disturbance permit, that is when they're required to have all their approvals from all external agencies. And in this case, that would include GDOT. If GDOT does not sign off on it, the project won't move forward.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
If the applicant is here, they can step forward. You have 10 minutes. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Amy Laws. My address is 1035 Carroll Court, Norcross, Georgia. I'm here as a representative for the property owner, and I'm joined by...
Good evening, Farouk Mogul. I'm representing Nabil Maiman of the Economic Development. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, yeah. As staff presented, we're presenting our case tonight to rezone the property to highway commercial from general commercial and agricultural residential, as well as to present a case for a conditional use permit. So the proposed development plan includes a 4,500 square foot C-store, which will serve as an anchor tenant on the property. Additionally, there are plans for 3 adjacent retail stores, each measuring 1,600 square feet, to complement the convenience store and enhance the overall commercial offering. So, yeah, and the entire development will encompass 56 parking spaces.
Thank you. Any questions? District 1?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So looking at the Q Public, looking this parcel on Q Public, it looks as if the diesel shop property infringes the use of the diesel shop uses part of the property in question here, right? Is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat
Well,
that?
there's a diesel shop just south of the property in question.
Yes.
All right. So looking at the Q Public map, and I don't know this is the way it really plays out, it looks like there's lots of their vehicles over on your property right now. Is that gonna be a parking area? What plans do we have here to separate the two? Because the diesel shop looks like to me it looks like a car graveyard. So what are we gonna do to lineate those two businesses? Because it looks like they're encroaching over on your property right now. So.
Okay, yeah, as far as I'm aware, once we develop the property, we would probably have clear parking spaces separated and designated for our retail and convenience store spaces. So I don't believe that should be an issue in the future.
Would there be a fence between the two businesses?
I could not give you a clear answer on that right now. That's not set. If that's a condition that you would like to add, then we would be open to adding it.
And you heard my concerns about the traffic right at the roundabout. I mean,
yes.
What are your plans for egress onto? There's no property on 36 that I can tell, but on 212 there is. What are your plans there as a entrance and exit? Is it just one? Is that what it is?
I am not entirely sure. I believe there's 2 different access points right now. I would have to double check on that for you, but obviously with concerns about disrupting the flow of traffic, we would comply with all of the requirements that the county would want to impose, as well as GDOT.
Okay. Thank you much.
Any other questions on the board? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, we close that portion. Anybody want to speak in opposition to this petition?
Dave Norton of New Bern. The little handout I gave you earlier talks about how much rooftops, whatever, will support businesses coming in. Has there been enough growth in this area to support this gas station? Is there a demand for it? So if there's more growth in the area, you're going to get more gas stations. Ms. Applewhite pointed out 2 doors down from this, there's a storage unit. The more people you have in, the more storage units you're going to have in, the more gas stations you're going to have in. I agree with Commissioner Edwards on the roundabout there. It's a little different than some of the other ones. So I don't know if any of the residents around the area have any input on this at all. Is it needed? Is it wanted? Is it going to benefit the citizens of Newton County? We need to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you build it, they will come.
Anybody else want to speak in opposition of this petition? Seeing none, we'll close that portion of our meeting. This is in District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, because of the questions I have, I'd like to ask that we table this for a period of, what is the?
It would be the January meeting, yeah,
60
60.
days?
Yes, the lowest advertised.
We need to understand a plan for entry onto 212. And I also want to know, I didn't know it at the time, but the Q Public picture over my head clearly showed that the diesel shop was infringing on this particular property, and I want to make sure we have a clear lineation between the two if we get to a point of approving this property. So I'd like to understand what we're going to the plans for entrance and to and from Highway 212. This time, I'd like to make a motion we table for a period of 30 days, Mr. Chairman.
60 days. 60 days. Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 4-1. Item number 4.
Chairman, since this one has been tabled, we won't do the CUP, which is the companion case.
Thank you. Yeah, we will need a motion on that one as well. District 1.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In light of the previous zoning conditional use permit 224 CUP 240000009, I wish to table for a period of 60 days.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
No further discussion. All in favor? To table? All opposed? All right.
This is the companion
Yeah,
case.
this is the conditional use permit, the companion to the one we just tabled. Discussion, go ahead.
Here's my concern. If we rezone it and they're not able to build the gas station because DOT says it's not gonna work, and you've opened up that property to commercial, and you may end up with a tire place, a junkyard, I don't know, something besides what you already had, because we don't have the conditions in here of what it can be used for. So that's why I'm opposed to it. If y'all want to, if, you know, 60 days is fine, but I'm concerned that if we do the zoning, that eventually, if it's not able to be built, then something else is going to be built that's worse.
Thank you. So we got a motion and a second on the floor to table the conditional use permit for 60 days. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 4-1. On the new business, item number 5.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next petition this evening is a future map amendment, FLU 24-000003. The existing land use map is commercial. The proposed land use map is industrial. The current zoning is general commercial. The watershed is the Yellow River. The location is 1575 Access Road, tax ID 0043004C. Acreage is 2.83 acres, and the character area is the live-work corridor. This is located in District 4. The owner is H. Grant Rice, and our petitioner today is T.J. Costin, and the representative will be John Michael Bush. And the applicants intend to amend the flume from commercial to industrial in order to rezone the property to light industrial. And this came before the board earlier this year. In June, the Planning Commission approved the rezoning from office institutional to general commercial for a portion. So initially, the parcel was dual zoned. It had office institutional and general commercial, and they came to rezone the entire thing to general commercial. So in August, the Board of Commissioners approved that rezoning to general commercial so that the entire parcel could be general commercial. On October 22nd, the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 5-0 for the current flume change in front of you today. And that is for the flume to go from commercial to industrial. And again, the character areas are the live-work corridor. An appropriate land use would be the industrial, and appropriate zoning light industrial. The proposed flume amendment industrial for the parcel may be appropriate with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan and with approved zonings in the area. There are similar industrial flume designations to the west and north of the property, and staff would recommend the amendment to this flume designation of industrial. And again, this is a map amendment, so there are no recommended conditions at this time. However, should the board approve it, it will come back before the board for the rezoning, at which time conditions can be applied. So this is the parcel we're looking at here. It's along the access road and the I-20 corridor. And we've got similar non-residential and industrial uses adjacent and opposite it. I believe this is a church. No, or is it the cemetery? But so your zoning map, so it's now fully general commercial, as all the parcels around it. To the north, you have industrial zonings. This is office institutional, but it's mostly floodplain and wetlands. It's not developable based on conditions of zoning that were placed on it by the board. And we've got mini warehouse storage here. This is truck parking. So there are a lot of industrial uses in the vicinity. So this is the flow map that we're seeking to change this evening. Everything in purple is industrial. Is an industrial flume, so that is north of the I-20 and the access road. And then these two parcels to the west are also an industrial flume. Everything in red is a commercial flume. And they're seeking to go to the industrial, which is the purple. It is in the Yellow River watershed. This is in District 4. We're in the Live Work Corridor Carter area. This is a survey that was submitted by the applicant. And that is staff's presentation. The applicant had slides that they would like to go through as well. And if there are any questions for staff, the applicant is here, Chairman.
Any questions for staff? Thank you. If the applicant is here, please step forward. You have 10 minutes. Please state your name for the record.
I always get this wrong, is it? Okay. Good evening, John Michael Bush, 2100 Powers Ferry Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30339. Like Ms. Applewheat said, my name is John Michael Bush. I'm on behalf of the owner of this property. We acquired this back in October after we completed our cleanup of the office institutional, the blue zoning there, to have one uniform commercial zoning across the property just to clean it up prior to our acquisition. We're here this evening to amend the future land use map to accommodate a rezoning to light industrial from heavy commercial. As you can see in this aerial, we're in a truly heavy commercial light industrial pocket that's bounded by Almond Road to the west and Old Oxford Road, the bridge, to the east. So there's a lot of uniform uses and a lot of complementary uses kind of throughout on the north side of 20 here, and then also on the south side of 20. Those uses include truck parking, equipment rental, building materials, and a use like that's out there at this property right now. This tenant had bought a business in Snellville and they've vacated the property, so our ask is to rezone to light industrial to accommodate a couple of uses that are allowed in M1 that are not allowed in CG, but it's really, in my opinion, it's more of a technical matter because the actual use of the property, the look, the feel, and the application is really not going to change. And I'll reserve the rest of my time for any questions if y'all have any.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? District 4?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I think we looked at it a little bit and talked about it.
Yeah.
And what we talked about was that you wanted to be able to use it for some heavier equipment to be placed on the property.
Yes.
And I think we talked about 2 hours or so at the park.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good zoning. In fact, I thought so much of it was the fact that I guess I wrote a letter to China Helps to talk about it. It would be good for a commercial zoning, bigger zoning, more equipment to be placed on the property. And so I'm just in approval of it whenever time comes.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Thank you, sir. Anybody else want to speak in favor? Anybody else? That portion is closed. Anybody want to speak in opposition to this petition? Seeing none, that portion is closed as well. This is in District 4.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just like to say this, you know, there's not too much more you can put out there except some heavy equipment and stuff out there. And I didn't see no reason why it shouldn't be somewhat rezoned to some bit heavier equipment to be placed there. So I'd like to make a motion to approve with staff, if we have any recommendation from staff, for it to be approved.
Thank you. Got a motion? Do we have a second? Got a second? Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Item number 6.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next petition this evening is a conditional use permit. It is CUP 24-000010. The proposed use is to be able to sell alcohol in an existing restaurant, and the restaurant is Huevo KC. The location is 11230 Highway 36. It is on 3.35 acres, and the tax ID is 0084116. Future land use map is mixed use. The existing zoning is light industrial. The watershed is Yellow River. This is in Commission District 5. Current owner is Kareem Ali, and our petitioner is Rachel Marrero. And in a brief history, the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 5-0 on October 22nd. And again, the intent is to sell alcohol at the restaurant. And the site plan that was submitted on September 3rd, we did review it, taking into consideration for fencing and the signage, which they will have to do according to the ordinance sections. These are the applicable sections in the ordinance, definition for the restaurant, and we have section 510-540, which has the additional requirements, and they are here for the conditional use permit today because of number 2, where one of the requirements is to obtain a conditional use permit for the sale of alcohol beverages for consumption on the premises. And in conclusion, given the fact that the property is in proximity to industrial and commercial zonings and the applicant's proposed uses of the land, staff is of the opinion that the conditional use permit may be appropriate for the site. The fire marshal has approved the establishment with an indoor seating capacity of 53 seats, which exceeds the minimum required seating capacity of 40 seats to sell alcohol. And our recommended conditions for this conditional use permit: should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a cup conditional, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. And 1, to the owner's agreement to restrict the sale of alcohol to the following: the restaurant business only. 2, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A, any required permits or licenses must be obtained from the Department of Development Services. B, business and alcohol licenses should be obtained from the Department of Development Services. C, alcohol beverages shall not be sold for consumption on the premises except between the hours of 9 a.m. until 1:45 a.m., Monday through Saturday, and between the hours of 12:30 p.m. and midnight on Sundays. D, alcoholic beverages may be sold for consumption on the premises from 12 midnight to 1:45 a.m. on any Monday that is New Year's Day or January 1 of any year. E, all employees must have a pouring permit. This is the aerial view of the location on Highway 36. And you can see the zoning. So we've got the gray, the M1, this is all industrial zonings up here. This is a cord, which is residential. And then you've got the agricultural residential and the single family residential in the yellow. It is in the Yellow River watershed, and we are in District 5. This is a concept layout of the restaurant as is. And we just have an aerial view of the location, just a close up. And of course we have our survey And if there are any questions for staff, if not, this is the public hearing, Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you. You said the applicant is here.
Yes.
Please step forward. You have 10 minutes to address the board. Please say your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Rachel Arevalo. My name is Rachel Arevalo, owner of BOC located at 11230 in Covington, Georgia. I am here in front of you guys today.
Could you get a little closer to the mic? Thank you.
I'm here in front of you guys today because I am requesting a permit to sell beer, liquor, and wine at a restaurant. We recently expanded our restaurant. So at the beginning, before when we started our restaurant, it was more of a fast food. So we're slowly transitioning it into more of a dining experience. So we would really love a permit for that. Yeah.
Thank
Do
you.
you guys have any questions?
Any questions? District 3?
And my question might not be relevant, but what type of restaurant?
It's a Mexican restaurant. We sell like burritos, wings, burgers, pretty much anything. Phillies, anything. It's not just Mexican, it's also American food.
We definitely need a list of all the restaurants we have in Newton because I had no idea your restaurant existed. But
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, we're going to close that portion. Anybody want to speak in opposition of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, this is in District 5. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for the property located at Highway 36 and Highway 213.
Second.
Would that be with recommendations?
With staff recommended conditions.
Yes, with staff recommendations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? District 1?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant just mentioned mixed drinks, liquor. Is that is permitted there?
Yes,
This will outside the city limits of Covington?
Yes.
So this is on-premises sales, so it'll be it's restricted to just the restaurant. That's why they have to get a cup for that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Item number 7.
Thank you, Chairman. This is our final petition this evening. It's also a conditional use permit. Case number is CUP 24-000011. The proposed use is an accessory building for a family life center and a special events facility. The existing zoning is AR, agricultural residential, and it's in the Brick Store Overlay Tier 1. It's in the Little River Watershed, located at 227 County Road 229. The parcel size is 20 acres, tax ID 0124027G. This is in Commissioner District 1. The current owner is the Crossroads Baptist Church of Newton, Inc. Our petitioner and our representative today is Pastor Brandon Stanley. And on just a brief history, the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of a 5-0 on 10/22/2024. And again, the applicant's intent is to build a family life center and a special events facility on the church campus. Development Service received their concept site plans, which currently shows that there are 3 buildings located on the property, including the current church sanctuary. These are the applicable sections. It's section 510480 would be for a place of worship. And for them to have an accessory building such as this, it does require them to have a conditional use permit. And that's why we're here today, number 4. And the second, this is just a place of worship continued. I'm not going to read through everything, but the other applicable section would be the special events facility. which is section 510-590. And because it exceeds 5,000 square feet and will probably have a seating capacity of more than 50, they are required to get a conditional use permit. So those are the two reasons that we're here today. Because it's an accessory building of that scale and for the use, recreational use for a place of worship, as well as because the building itself is over 5,000 square feet. And they'd like to also use it as a special events facility. So both of those uses require a CUP. And in conclusion, the Crossroad Baptist Church, they're proposing to add a 100 by 100 square foot or 10,000 square foot building to their church campus, which will be a family life center and a special events facility. They plan to provide services to the community such as religious education, recreation activities, such as sports, fitness, and health activities, and a venue for special events such as weddings, family reunions, and community meetings. Currently, the 20-acre campus, it has a classroom building, which is 9,000 square feet. There's a worship building of 9,000 square feet, and a fellowship building, which is 1,352 square feet. If this use meets the standards as set forth in section 510-480 and section 510-595 above, it should be approved. Staff recommends that should the board approve the conditional use request to allow the Family Life Center and a special events facility, that the approval will be with the recommended conditions. On our recommended conditions, should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a CUP conditional, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1. The CUP 24-000011 is to allow an accessory structure for a family life center and a special events facility to be located on the church campus. 2, the building shall adhere to the brick store overlay requirements. 3, to comply with all Newton County fire codes. 4, obtain all permits required from Development Services, the Fire Marshal, the Transportation Department, the Water Authority, and the Georgia Soil and Water Commission as applicable. And then we have recommended conditions for the special event uses. And just to continue, 5, any outside reception areas shall be held to the rear of the building. 6, no live bands or DJs or loud amplification of music allowed outdoors. 7, no fireworks are allowed for any special event unless it is a church event and a permit is obtained. 8, adequate parking shall be provided for guests as shown. 9, guest occupancy shall be set by the fire marshal. 10, security personnel will be provided at each event to direct traffic while vehicles are entering and exiting the property during events. 11, all outside events will end at 11 p.m. This does not include the cleanup and the takedown of the event. 12, adequate planted buffers shall be provided as needed. 13, it must obtain and maintain a business license. 14, obtain all permits required from Development Services, the Fire Marshal, Transportation Department, the Water Authority, and Georgia Soil and Water as applicable. So this is the location of the property, Highway 229. This is Highway 11, just to orient you, and we have 278 running this way. It's currently zoned agricultural or residential. It is in the brick store overlay, Tier 1. We are in District 1. So this is a survey of the parcel. The purple stars indicate the existing building. One would be the sanctuary, and we have the classroom. And of course, you've got the ample parking here. This is a close-up, so we've got the 2 existing structures right now. This is the proposed building for the special events and the Family Life Center that they're proposing to add in the yellow. This is proposed elevations. I do say proposed because they will have to conform to the brick store architectural requirements. So staff will review for that. This is just an aerial showing a clearer aerial of the current site. So you've got their existing buildings here, the sanctuary and the classroom building, and they're proposing to put the Family Life Center, the special events facility here. And again, there's more than enough parking for that. They've already got the ingress and egress for it. And of course, there's a lot of buffers. I mean, they own 20 acres, so it's a lot of the trees are still there, so it's well buffered. And this is just the ground view of what is currently out there. with a current church in the building. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, I believe Pastor Stanley is here.
District 3.
Shane, I was looking at some of your conditions, number 6, and if this is for special events, why is there no live music, no DJ, or none of that? So if somebody renting this out maybe for a reception or a wedding, what are
Outdoors, ma'am.
So just outdoors, so inside they can have it. Okay.
Play as loud as you can inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you.
All right.
The applicant is here. They can please step forward. Please state your name, address for the record. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Brandon Stanley. I live at 1135 Skyline Drive, Covington, Georgia, so right there close to the church. Again, thank you all for all that you do. This building primarily will be for children and youth. Our goal is to share Christ, to share the good news of God's grace with children and youth, and encourage them to follow Jesus. And we've just seen the wonderful transforming grace and power of the gospel in so many lives. I've been there 18 years, and the Lord's really blessed our ministry. This facility, we feel like, will be a place for kids to come Wednesday nights, especially after school, where they've been cooped up in school and class all day, come to church and have a blast and play and then tell them about Jesus and lead them to Christ. So that's our goal for the facility on Wednesdays. We'll be using it on Sundays. We'll be using it for fellowship and different events throughout the week. So, but primarily our goal is to share the good news and glory and greatness of God with kids and youth. I think that we did a great job of just explaining kind of what the facility is going to be used for and the scope of the project. But thank you all for your consideration in this. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you. Oh, got one. District 3.
Forgive me if I'm on this live entertainment. I'm a live entertainment person. So will you ever have any events that you may have on the outside? Because I've seen churches who have events on the outside where they invite the community and they need a DJ or something.
Yeah.
So I was concerned about that. Are there any houses that would be affected by the sound ordinance to where we actually putting this restriction in on you?
You know, we just had our fall festival on the 31st. We've been doing that for 18, probably 20 years, even before I came. So we do have music. It did say loud, so I don't know exactly what the definition of loud is, but we do have music. We do have announcing for kids that win prizes or other things going on throughout the night. So we do have an outside fall festival that happens once a year. Primarily all of our activities are going to be inside and are not going to have amplification, just that once a year. And I think we fit still within those parameters. Our neighbors have never been, I don't think at this point, disturbed by any we try to be considerate of that. The projection is definitely away from the houses there on Rolling Road and behind us. We just try to be courteous with that. So I don't think there's been a problem up to this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, anybody, we're going to close that portion. Anybody want to speak in opposition to this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, this is in District 1, and there is staff recommended conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve conditional use permit 24000011 with staff recommendations.
Got a motion? Do we have a second? Any further discussion? One item, District 1, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to, before we vote, I want to make sure everybody understands that Pastor Stanley and Crossroads Baptist Church, I've been there many times for various functions, and what a wonderful part of our community they are, to say the least. A wonderful community partner. I think I even had a town hall there several years ago a wonderful town partner for our county and our citizens. Just want to make that clear. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
That is our, yeah. Those are all the zoning petitions today, Chairman.
Thank you. On to citizen comments. As you come forward, I got one statement I do want to read. As we value public opinion and are appreciative of those that took the time to attend today, the rules of decorum posted will be followed. Each speaker must state their name and address for the record. Each speaker has 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer session, and there is no response from the BOC. Welcome again.
Dave Norton of Newborn, Georgia, 4357 Highway 142. If you build it, they will come. The other day I went up toward Rutledge. I don't remember what for, but I came back down Newbern Road. Newbern Road runs from Rutledge to Newbern. Got behind 2 big dump trucks full of dirt. Said, I wonder where they're going. I had a good idea. If any of you haven't been out there in the Stanton Springs area lately, I suggest you go. Any of our citizens in Newton County need to go out there and see. But anyway, I followed them 2 dump trucks on Old Mill Road. I came up on the new exit on I-20. Millions of your tax dollars being spent for a $1 billion corporation. Where Old Mill meets the new, what some call Lake Rivian Parkway. It's about a 2.5 mile long 4-lane with a pretty median down the middle, running from Old Mill Road over to Stanton Springs. There's a new red light where you turn left right there at Stanton Springs, right there at the intersection with the I-20. There's a new water tower going up on your left right there. On your right, you'll see a sign that says Stanton Grove. Per the records that I've seen, Stanton Grove is owned by the Newton County Industrial Development Authority. The last records I've seen, or the last plans that I've seen, showed 9 apartment buildings, several warehouses, things we've been fighting here in this room, being proposed, developed, however you want to put it, by our own county. To steal another quote, I have seen the enemy. The enemy is us. I do not know how to fight this. All I have is my voice and my vote. So, them 9 apartments, that little handout I give you showed how many gas stations, you know, if you got homes on 2 acres or you've got 4 homes per acre, the difference in what they will support. Those 9 apartment buildings in Stanton Grove, how many gas stations will they support? I've heard complaints of too many fast food restaurants. How many fast food restaurants will they support? How many Walmarts will they support? Multiply that 9 apartments by who knows what else the Industrial Development Authority has planned. There's no transparency there at all. There's a projection of 60,000 people in 25 years new to Newton County. I don't know if the good Lord's going to give me 25 more years, but why am I here? Because I care, and I hope you do too. If we let them build it, they will come.
Thank you. Anyone else? And as the next one is coming up, anytime you would like to know more about Stanton Grove, just reach out to the Newton County Industrial Development Authority. There is a little misinformation in what you have, as the Industrial Development Authority is not proposing any type of residential. It's Industrial Development Authority. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Thelma Starnall. I live at 3163 Starmount Street. I live in District 4. On last Tuesday afternoon, we had an opportunity to do something for our kids in District 4 at the Nelson Heights Center, but it was over on the basketball court side. So we did hot dogs, hamburgers, candy, drinks, freeze pops, and a lot of other things that we did. They played basketball and everything. So I just want to give a special thanks out tonight to you, Chairman Sim, to our Commissioner J.C. Henderson, and for all the people that helped us to put everything together, the people that cooked the food, did the candy bags, everything. I just want to say thank you to you all for looking out for our kids in District 4. We gave them a place to go, and they ate, they had play, and they had a good time. So I just want to say thank you to all y'all, for everybody that participated in helping us put this together. Thank y'all. Y'all be blessed and be safe tonight going home.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening. Frederick Johnson, 1036 Highway 162 in Covington. Just want to remind everyone that on Veterans Day, the American Legion number 38 will be out here on the square at 11 o'clock. So we invite you all to come out and witness our program, okay? On last Thursday night, I think it was Thursday night, we had out at my church, we had a trunk or treat, and we had a lot of kids there. A lot of cars was there, and we had a lot of traffic going up and down the road, not letting anybody come in or go out or whatsoever. I want you, this commissioner, to let's think about us. I mean, I'm out here at 10:30. Our church is 1142 Highway 162, and we catch the blues getting in and out there. So you know, I know if something can be done to help us out. And Sunday morning we're gonna be having our veterans program there at the church. But just think about us out there trying to get out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for your service. Anyone else? Anyone else? Last call. All right, we're going to move on to commissioner comments. District 2? Nothing? District 3?
The only one with a comment, sorry. I just want to thank Dana Herring, who was the former SPLOS District 3 appointment, for her service. I know that volunteering for any board in Newton County takes time and dedication, and I really, really, truly appreciate your time and service. And I also want to thank Ms. Maya Neely for stepping up to the service. And when the 4-H today was mentioning about their youth mental health first aid, I'm thankful that I was able to be one of the certifiers for that. So I'm certified in that with the National Council for Mental Health Wellbeing. So, and that's all my announcements.
Thank you, ma'am. District 4?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd just like to thank Ms. Thelma Stornally for participating in what started out to be a trunk or treat, started to be so many kids. It was a handful. And I also, and Miss Muriel Mentor and Miss Maddie Goggins, who they really did a wonderful job. And my wife too as well, who had got sick that same day, so I ended up doing a whole lot of work. It was awful fun, and we really enjoyed it. And the kids enjoyed it. We just wasn't gonna let those kids be out there for another whole year, and we do nothing. And so we're gonna do something for our community. If we even have to do it by ourselves, we're gonna make it happen. I also like to thank the Spring Hill Park, and for a community cleanup, we used that particular park for residents in District 4 to bring their trash and stuff and put in a bin at the park. And we was thankful to do that, do that too as well. So, you know, we're gonna continue to work. We're gonna continue to work for our community. We're gonna make sure that over on Geiger Street, the Warwick Cousin building that's being renovated, we're gonna make sure that there be a holding place for all our election computers and stuff. Working with the chairman and board of commissioners, we're gonna make sure there be a beautiful building that's gonna be placed back into the community. And lastly, we're gonna stand with Commissioner Sanders to have something did over in District 3 Park for our kids. I think it's way overdue. And maybe we just have to all get together, Commissioner Sanders, and just come up here somewhere and ask that something be done. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. District 5? All right. Before we adjourn our meeting, because we won't see each other until December. So I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy holidays. With that, we do not have a need for executive session. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned.